In this video, I'm going to cover what's going on in jumbo loans and how banks are reacting to the uncertainty in the marketplace and what has happened to the investors that buy these jumbo loans. So I've had some recent situations with buyers trying to buy higher end properties and jumbo loans, and I had some bad experiences. We lost a couple of deals and potentially three. We'll see today if we can save one of them. But the first one was with Bank of America and a buyer that was using an asset-based loan, so they didn't have to submit any tax returns and were borrowing based on the strength of their stock portfolio. So at the time, this is pre-COVID, so their stocks were all high and everything was great. So we go into the deal a couple of weeks and Bank of America asks for tax returns. The buyer questions them and says, "Why do you need the tax returns? This is an asset-based loan." But they said, "Well, we just need them for our file." So the buyer sent them in, and the moment that happened, the underwriter came back and said, "Wait a minute, now we have to do this on a full income qualifier." So that turns into a mess. A couple weeks later, these people were trying to borrow like $950,000. Bank of America came back and said, "Well, we're not going to give you $950,000. We'll give you $600,000, and that's if and only if you pay off another mortgage for $900,000." And so the buyer said, "Well, no, why would I do that? That's crazy," right? And then we had another one where the buyer was approved and they came back with a similar type of overlay, I'll call it, where they said you have to put in $500,000 in our bank before we'll loan you $1.5 million. So just confusing stuff. But what's happening is these banks are putting in these overlays because they don't like the interest rates. They're too low, right? They don't know what the market's going to have 2 months from now, 6 months from now, or whatever. But more importantly, they don't have any investors to buy the loans. So they have to portfolio the loan, meaning they keep it in-house. So they take regular banking standards and qualifications, and now they're putting these overlays on top of it. So this is my experience in the local market, and it's actually cost me a few deals so far, but I don't know if it's going to cost me all of my finance deals before the end of this month. But my concern is that they're getting very unrealistic with the overlays and the requirements they have because, one, they have reserve requirements. I think that's why they're asking for the deposits in the bank. But, come on, this is getting ridiculous. This really means we don't have what we thought we had before, which was, let's say, 20% down jumbo financing. And so these lenders are also adding additional down payments into the equation. So you might see 25, 30%, and mortgage bankers are basically disappearing from the equation, right? Their money has gotten very uncertain as well. So even the ones that had wholesale lines and all of that stuff, poof, they're gone. So in our market, the average price for single family homes has been above $1.5 million for the last couple of years. So this pretty much means anything in my market, with the exception of the low end, is going to be affected by jumbo financing. But right now we have 35% cash buyers, which is great. Okay, I'm not complaining there, but that means that if jumbo financing goes away, then I'm going to probably lose 2/3 of the buyers, which in my marketplace might mean a couple hundred sales, which is a lot of sales, right, out of our total number of sales in our small market in Incline Village at Lake Tahoe. So this is kind of drastic times. So how do we fix this? So with the way that Wall Street investment and warehouse lines and the Fannie and Freddie kind of all back all of this up, what do we need? We need some stabilization in the marketplace, meaning people need to know what's going to happen in the future, or this is going to continue for the foreseeable future. So our current financing now, jumbo financing, is only available from the big banks, the Wells Fargo, Citibank, Bank of America, etc. My friends at Chase probably have money as well. We'll see. I don't know if any of them are going to come through. I know this is not good news. It may have a lasting effect in the luxury markets around the country, and it may even affect the overall market. I don't know. The only other solution we have is potentially looking at owner financing. If your sellers are in a position to do that, that's a great conversation to start having with your clients. Fortunately, I have a couple of clients that I've talked to about this actually maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago and started this conversation early. This last weekend, I got agreement from our new project in Crystal Bay called Granite Place at Boulder Bay They now have owner financing, and they're offering it with 30% down and maybe even 25% down. If you guys are interested in that project, you can see it at graniteplacetahoe.com. There's a link down in the description. But I would really look at any other sellers you have that have either a small loan on there or no financing on their existing property. Consider owner finance, because it may be your only way to get out with someone that has a good down payment, probably has good credit. Most of the people buying in my marketplace have great credit, so that's really not a concern. They have, they're insulated from the employment equation, and they probably didn't lose their job. But this is a great conversation across all price ranges, really. And if you want to think smart and be smart as an agent and broker in this environment, post-COVID, you've really got to consider this. You've got to look at all of your options and get creative, figure out ways to get sales where you wouldn't. And I'm thankful that I have clients that would consider that. And, so let me know what's happening in your marketplace. I'm really curious what's happening in the other luxury markets, Aspen, Beverly Hills, Malibu, New York, I know is probably a mess, but, there are other markets out there that may have other things happening. I'd love to hear from you. I really appreciate you watching this video, and if you'd like it, I'd greatly appreciate it, and subscribe. Thank you so much.